Okay, ready? All right, you're live.
All right, guys. Hey, we're going to get ready to get started here. We're excited. We're live. Well, welcome all the live folks and the dead folks in here.
Ha.
This is exciting stuff. One of the reasons why I really like this panel about why EXP Realty is, for quite many years, we got a stigma in the industry of that we're only known for as recruiters. We're known for attracting certain type of people, that we weren't good for new agents, that we weren't good for teams or top producers, and it was only for people who wanted to attract agents. Well, I got to tell you, it's been a long way since we've been at those type of comments, because we are definitely making waves in the industry. Riz Media just ranked us as one of the top brokerages in production in all of the country. So we are selling a lot of real estate. We're also excited, because when me and Angela closed down Revelation Real Estate, which was the #1 single office brokerage in the world, doing $2 billion in production, people thought we were crazy. They go, why would you do that? Why would you go to a company that's a pyramid scheme, a no-name company, a company that's going out of business, a company that has so many lawsuits against them? It was one gossip, one rumor after another. Don't think that we didn't do our homework first. We did our homework. And, we're blessed to be visionaries. We're blessed to be good leaders. And, since we made the move a little over 2 years ago, we've been nothing but a blessing to us and a blessing to our friends and our agents who had come with us. So we're going to go on. What this panel is going to be about, Kristen put this together. She's one of the top recruiters in the country, our close friend and right-hand partner. She put this panel together, and what she did was she took different walks of the real estate world that we have in EXP. So what you're going to see is solo producers, big top producers, team leaders, ones that excel at social media and other type of things. So all walks of the realm of the real estate industry, and see how is their business, what's going on with it, where are they at. And we're going to start off with by going, first let's hear from them who they are, and why did they choose EXP Realty at first. So Kristen, do you want to start there?
Yeah, so thank you guys all for coming. This is so much fun for me. So I want to just quickly tell you guys my story, because it's kind of crazy, because I was their recruiter, like you said. I was a paid employee for them, and when they took me out to lunch and told me that we were going to be closing our brokerage down and going to EXP, I cried. I did not want to go. I loved Revelation with all my heart, and I didn't know EXP, but I trusted them and I went there. And fast forward 2 years, I run my own business. I have an organization of 300 today. And it's been a ton of fun. I do not sell real estate, so I do focus on building my organization and showing up to help my agents have a space to thrive. So my walk's a little bit different, but let's get started.
But before we get started, I just want to say one thing. Let's make it clear. She didn't cry. She threw herself on the floor in the middle of the restaurant.
Like a baby.
And screaming.
You guys can all.
That's why they're all laughing.
Okay, so Stephanie Maineville. Stephanie is a realtor and a team lead. She's the founder of Socially Modern Collective, the co-host of the Socially Modern podcast. She's a 2-time EXP icon agent and a nationwide team lead in 14 states and growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stephanie, can you tell us your EXP story?
Absolutely. Am I supposed to use this?
Yeah.
Yes, please, so we can hear you up here.
Does it work?
Should be.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Oh, it is on. Right?
Maybe talk
No.
a little louder.
It's not.
Just push it up. If it works, it works.
I don't think it's on. Test.
Oh, there we go. Right on.
Perfect. Okay, there's one. So yes, I'm Stephanie. I am, again, I'm a podcast co-host to Socially Modern. It's a top-rated marketing podcast for realtors, all about social media marketing. And when I started in the business about 5.5 years ago, I was struggling. I had 2 little ones. I was breastfeeding through real estate school, so that was a fun experience. Honestly, just trying to make it work. And when I first got out, I was doing everything that everybody else does. Door knocking, open houses, cold calling, just kind of trying to exhaust all avenues. And I thought there has to be a better way. And for me personally, just the generations I grew up in, that was social media marketing. So I really dug into that and I just decided this was going to be what I do. 100%, this is what I'm doing. And that's kind of where everything started. From there, I found success, of course, in my business. Was starting to be asked to teach classes at different title companies, brokerages. I had agents asking to go to lunches with me, and it was super fun, but very time consuming. That led me to, I was at Revelation Real Estate, and then that led me to, hey Chuck, you're so good at building people and building teams, and I keep getting these messages online, and they're not just in Arizona, they're everywhere. I had no idea how to do this at all. I still feel like I'm a baby in this. And I was like, I know you know about EXP Realty, Chuck. You're going to tell me about it, right? And he was like, hold your horses, we're doing something. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that was when Chuck was like, hey, we're going to move to EXP Realty, and this is why. And it was the first time that when I had seen a team model, I thought that was something that I could get behind. That was something that I could do long term. And it's not something that just benefited me, it also benefits the agents that are joining me. That was huge for me.
Awesome. Love it. All right, next is Erin Etheridge, who is a realtor and a team lead. She's been in the business for 22 years.
Baby Ethan is the top.
I know. She's the founder of the Etheridge team. She is an EXP icon agent, and she has 21 investment properties, which I always find super impressive. So, Erin, tell us your EXP story.
Oh my gosh. There was lots of crying. No, so being in the business for 22 years, I've been at 6 different companies. I wasn't opposed to switching companies. It was kind of more of, I had 10 agents and we were doing well, but it wasn't it was more when Kristen came to me, she was just like, yeah, that's great that you're helping others, but who's helping you level up? I was like, I don't know. My top fairy coach. It was kind of more of who at that brokerage was helping me level up, and I really started thinking about that because in our industry, and people don't share just freely. And my now being at EXP, a lot of things are shared really freely. But at other brokerages, you guys, that is not the case. A lot of people think that they have all this proprietary information, and that if they're doing something successful, that they don't want to share it because there's another 70, I think we're up to 70,000 agents here in Phoenix, something like that, right?
Not in Phoenix.
Oh, all of them. Oh, no, I think in the state.
70,000?
70,000 in the state, 55,000 in Phoenix.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Get that too.
Oh, I want to just, congratulations. Welcome. But really, the water's warm. I mean, honestly. So I had started my team at the past brokerage, and I really started it out of love. I wasn't the person that was like, I'm gonna get rich off the backs of other people. It was kind of more like 4 of my friends got into real estate, and the number is 90% fail inside the first 2 years. And so I needed to feel like I did everything possible to make sure that they were succeeding. And I do think that there's, I don't want to say a right and a wrong way to do real estate, but there's an easy way of building referrals and your social media and then there's cold calling and door knocking and doing things the old-fashioned or way, which there's something to be said for that. I love that too. But I wanted to make sure that they were sustainable, and so I had started that team. And so I had 10 agents. Kristen and I were forming a friendship, and yeah, when she came to me with that question, and she's just like, "What are you doing?" kind of a thing. I'm like, I don't know. What am I doing? What should I be doing? Someone tell me. So when I made the decision to come over, there was all kinds of tears. I mean, Kristen probably wanted to kill me for like, I don't know, 6 months or something. It took me a really long time to move over because we all get hit with the different types of people that are DMing you like, hey, I didn't want, now I understand that people are just super excited about being at the company and that it's not necessarily about them. But anyway, when I moved over, only half my team came over. So I came here with 5. And now
How
I'm
many are you at today?
18.
Yeah. Within how long?
So I came over in August 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep growing on that, but I think it's important. I've got a couple team members with me here today. I think it's really important to make sure that we, I want 20 people in a room. I mean, there's gonna be multiple rooms, okay, guys. But just 20 in a room so that they can keep that bonding. But it's been nothing short of incredible being at EXP, and I'm so thankful that Kristen kept on keeping on, and then these guys really got to some of my key team members.
Well, let's talk just quickly about the event, because we say big decisions are made at big events. That's where you want to go to big events
You should be
that
using
they
the
put
microphone.
on. So,
You should use the microphone.
no, I don't need the microphone. So she invited her to the big event in Scottsdale when we were speaking. And it was funny because Erin the whole time, because I know what you guys are trying to do. I know what you're trying to do.
We're like, duh.
So I thought that was
Yeah, so
fun.
that event, you guys, that one was basically for recruiting, and everybody at the table was making like ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, it was so dumb. I was like, okay, I guess I can see like where that works. Maybe sometime in the future. Not now. 2 months later.
All right, let's do Rachel. All right, Rachel Krill. We call Rachel Krillin it with Rachel Krill.
Yeah, she is
Drilling
brilliant.
it. Drilling it.
She's very humble. She closes, I don't know, like 70 deals a year on her own. Nothing crazy. She's been in the business 17 years, another long-term agent. 2-time EXP Icon agent, and she's top 200 agents in Arizona. So Rachel, tell us your EXP story.
Yeah.
Where do I start?
Oh,
Just
the
kidding.
interrogation.
So I was at Revelation with Chuck and Angela, and I remember when they announced it, I thought, I love a flat fee broker. When you close as many deals as I do, you don't want to pay a cap. Like my parents had a Century 21. I'd been at God knows how many companies. And so I remember taking Chuck and Angela to lunch, and I grilled Chuck for probably 2 hours.
Yeah, you were grilling it.
Oh yeah,
Grilling it,
I was grilling
yeah.
I was grilling him.
Yeah.
That's kind of a really wrong direction. So, but I remember sitting there thinking, I don't even remember the fees at Revelation now, it was so long ago. But so many people are looking for this, the cheapest thing possible, especially when you get into real estate, right? And even as a top producer, you're looking like, where can I cut fees, so that you can spend on marketing, you can do things and stuff like that. And I thought, how am I gonna go to pay XYZ a year? That's not happening. But then what I started realizing is like my grandfather came from an employee-owned company, right? And I started thinking I'm very old school, very conservative, listen to music on record players still, like I'm born in the wrong generation. And so I started realizing EXP is the only model that is truly an agent-owned, an employee-owned style for real estate. And so in my business, I started evaluating everything I had to set aside for my own retirement, for my own this, for my own that. And I went, hold on, throw out the recruiting, because in the beginning, Chuck knew I hated that. I was like, not even thinking about it, don't talk to me about it. And I went, stocks. And so my story is EXP, the reason I came over is because of their stock options. And so I realized I can have equity into a company, and when it succeeds, I succeed on top of it, just for doing my real estate deals that I already did. And 2 years in, I've got 6 figures in stocks just for doing what I do in real estate. So you take that on top of your commissions, no other brokerage can offer that. And so for me, that was my biggest eye opener, was that employee-owned concept of it. And I always joke that if I had EXP when I was 18, I would not be sitting here right now. I would be long gone. I'd be fly fishing somewhere in the world, not sitting here. And so for that, that's what opened my eyes to realize so many different revenue streams, because I think in our life, everyone should be looking for multiple revenue streams. And if I'm talking way beyond you, you're gonna get there one day, right? And so EXP not only gives you multiple revenue streams for your life, but it gives it for your business, which I think so many people miss, that now I'm getting to see the opportunities that it has with different seasons of life, right? Some people, you might be like, I only want 10 more years in real estate. We heard people go, I'm too far along in my career. I'm not going to go to EXP because I just want to retire soon. Well, you know what? EXP has an opportunity for mentorship that you can make money off of. What brokerage does that? So there's so many different avenues for different seasons of your life that I've never seen at all 6 or 7 companies I've ever been at. And after grilling Chuck about a lot of different things, I think I remember I shook his hand and said, I'm a 1099 employee. I'll give it a year. And if I don't like it, we can part ways, but I still want to be friends. I said, so that's the deal. I'll come, but I'm only giving it a year. And 2.5 years later, I love it more than ever. So,
And you're still not good for it.
yeah.
I do want to touch on something before we go to Chris. You know, one of the key things that she said, the key word, if whether you're new to EXP or you're experienced, or you're just checking it out. One of the things that I say to people, when people just say to me, just in its simplest form, what is the difference between EXP Realty and every other brokerage out there? And it's in simplest forms, it's called opportunities. You have opportunities in EXP that you don't have at any other brokerage. So the beauty of it is, guys, you may be sitting here and go, well, I'm not a recruiter, or I don't care about stock, or I don't care about this. When you get in, life changes, business changes so fast that in 6 months to a year, you go, oh my gosh, that's right, I'm here. I do want to explore that opportunity. I do want to look at attracting agents, or I do want to look at mentorship. So guys, that is the key phrase, the key word is EXP Realty gives agents all over the country, all over the world, opportunities you can't have at any other brokerage.
100%. All right, Chris Fisher, realtor and builder. So he's the co-founder of the 10-7 Project and the Tactical Agent Academy coaching program. And he's going to tell you guys about that because it's like one of my favorite things. He's an EXP Icon agent, the author of the Tactical Agent, which I have copyrighted.
Look at that book, that's it.
That's a good looking book.
So, and he's in 38 states and growing. And so I want to give you.
I'm sorry, short, 39.
He told me 38 3 days ago.
He's gonna be in 52 states in no time.
All right, Chris, I know your story. Coming over to EXP is super long, so go ahead.
Yeah, so my journey to EXP started when I came to Revelation Real Estate. So Revelation was Chuck's previous brokerage. Kristen was recruiting me. I was sitting down at a meeting with her.
I'm always recruiting.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed.
She's a closer now. But I was sitting down with her and we were having a meeting. And this guy comes walking by in jeans and a t-shirt, holding a roll of paper towels, right? And you know, I'm a blue collar guy. My dad was a machinist. His dad was a pipe fitter. I was a cop. Like that's the background I come from. And I see this guy walking. I'm like, who's this guy? She's like, Chuck, come here. And I'm like, okay. And he comes in and she's like, this is the owner, Chuck. And I was like, she said, why do you have paper towels? He said, well, the bathroom's dirty. And she was like, Chuck, you own the building. And he was like, what? The bathroom's dirty. And I said right then, we can follow that man no matter what. So he came to me one day and he was like, hey, we're going to EXP. And I was like, oh. And that's my EXP story.
So long.
I know, right?
Just say yes.
Okay, so
And
let's
to just give a little background, it's as simple as that. In Alabama, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
you were on what, SWAT at the time, or?
SWAT narcotics.
SWAT narcotics, this guy is the real deal, and he's the calmest guy you'll ever meet.
Well, and you know what's really crazy is he came over with just like, yeah, we'll go there, but tell him what you've done since you've been there.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, so once I got over there, a friend and I were talking, I convinced a buddy of mine to get a license in real estate. He's the top in, Metro Detroit. And it's like, we're two idiots, we're doing all right. So we can teach other cops how to do this. So we started something we call the 10-7 Project, where we teach law enforcement officers, veterans, other first responders how to sell real estate so that they can supplement their income, or replace it if they decide that they don't want to be a cop anymore, or anybody wouldn't want to be a cop in today's world. So we started that. We have currently 1,100 police officers going through the licensing process.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, and I have to tell you just a little bit, I get to meet a lot of these guys from all over the country, now that Chris and Mike have been doing that. And they come up to me personally and tell me how these guys change their lives. And they change their lives in more than one way. It's not necessarily, hey, we're giving you an opportunity to get out of the police department, but it's just giving you an opportunity to make some extra income. And what they're providing for the law enforcement now, first responders, is absolutely incredible. And tell them out there, maybe people listening, how'd you come up with the name 10-7 Project?
Well, it was actually kind of simple. So in the jurisdiction that I worked in, when you said we were 10-7 on the radio, that meant you were done for the day. And I was like, we teach you guys how to be done for the day. So 10-7 Project.
Love it. Great job.
So simple. All right, so I want each of you guys to answer, what is your favorite thing? Like, now that you're at EXP, if you had to say one or two things that EXP provides for you, what would you say your favorite things are?
Okay, you go first.
You guys can all collaborate, then come up with a people.
That's the word, honestly, collaboration. I think Erin said it earlier, it's most people, I think I actually said it the other day, Chuck and Angela, everyone thinks they have like the secret to selling real estate and they don't want to share it. It's like, no one has a secret. Like what you're doing is what 90,000 other people are probably doing too. So like the fact that, but what I love is that we share so much information. I mean, we can go on some of our Facebook groups and say, hey, I need a post-closing checklist on how you follow up with your sellers. And within 5 minutes, you've got like 3 PDFs posted. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm like, this is amazing. We're like at Golden
Other places.
Doodle over there. They'll stay long enough. They're not going to give you anything. They're like this old school, don't share information, still door knock, still do all of this. So there's so much opportunity. And honestly, one of the things outside of collaboration that I love is I honestly love EXP World. A lot of people, if you don't know, we're a virtually based company, so we have like a virtual world. And I teach in the world, and so I get to be in there a lot, and I actually really enjoy the classes and like the people that I get to connect with that email me after that from all over the world, to be able to collaborate with and connect those relationships for referrals and stuff like that. It's just it's a big company, but such a small group, if that makes sense. Like it's very close knit with keeping things with each other, and that's one of the things I actually love most.
So I have two things. When I first came over, I'm like, why would I care about stocks? I can buy my own stocks. Inside 6 months, I now have like $10,000 that I did absolutely nothing for. So thanks, guys. So there's that. And then I would also say, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Shoot.
You'll come back to it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it.
You just sounded like Anna Delvey.
Oh,
Have you guys watched the Authentic Anna?
yeah.
Yeah, you just sounded just like her.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this. Okay, I agree. I absolutely love the stock options. I love that I'm able to build outside of just my transactions. So that's been really huge for me, and that was a big goal, was just make money while I'm sleeping. Who doesn't want to do that? On top of that, I agree. I love EXP World. I like the collaboration level that's in there. I tell a lot of our newer agents, and like, look, you can join our team where we talk about social media marketing, and that's what I'm highlighting. But no, I'm not going to teach a class about open houses. The cool part is you can go into EXP World and you can learn all about open houses from somebody who built their entire business on open houses. So you really do get the best of both worlds. You can have your cake and eat it too. That's what I like.
And real quick, because you guys are talking.
Say mine. My other thing that I really love. Okay, fine. So really love that I have healthcare. No, I really do. With 3 kids, right? 3 kids. And then I have a husband who's also self-employed. So being a 2-household, self-employed, 3 kids, like, who knows? They could fall down and break their arm tomorrow. I have no idea. We went years and years and years having healthcare through, whatever place we could possibly find it, and it was terrible. My deductibles were crazy high, my monthly payments were stupid, and I came over to EXP and I was like, honestly, that I'm getting older when I'm really excited about healthcare.
Healthcare and vacuums.
Hell yes. So yeah, no, honestly, get on the healthcare train. I don't even think there's a waiting period. It's all like, just get on it. You're gonna love it. It's great.
I remembered what it was.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys, so when you're in the real estate world for a long time, you meet other realtors at like other happy hours or other things, you're just like, you're a realtor? Well, how do you do? Like you're like not excited to meet them, like you really don't. And now I meet somebody at open house, I'm like, oh hi! No, but really, like out in the world too. Like I just had my makeup done today, and this girl, she's like, I'm thinking about getting my license. I'm like, you absolutely should. It's inspiring people to leave their jobs. That a lot of people want to do what we're doing, but they just need that extra encouragement. And it's only at a company that like this that allows that.
Yeah, I want to touch on what Erin said, guys. If you're out there and whether you say, I'm not somebody who recruits, that's not me, I'm not a recruiter. Listen to what she just said. This is what really is the big difference when it comes to that mindset. If you guys go to a good restaurant, do you tell people about it? Why? Because you're excited. You just see that great service, great food. How often do you go back there and then the owner comes out and goes, thank you for inviting these people. I'm going to pick up the check tonight. No, you don't do it for the money. You do it because we as human beings love sharing stuff that's great. So when you watch their eyes light up here, they're sharing something that's life-changing for them. And that's the difference when people understand. Yes, are there people out there that just try to ram EXP down people's throat, know nothing about? Absolutely. But don't sit and get mad at them. You do what you do best and attract agents by being excited. When me and Angela get to change people's lives, and I don't use that word change lives loosely, I literally can change someone's life. And you see them and they're in tears and they go, thank you for being the leader that you were, that you helped us go over here because you changed my life. Guys, that's addictive. When you can change someone's life, it's addictive. So listen to what they're saying and how they light up about they want to get in front of agents, because I'm going to tell you, most agents out there are failing and are not happy at the brokerage they're at because their brokerage doesn't provide what they need. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I also want to ask a question to any agent out there. How are you getting buyers and sellers? You are recruiting them. So stop acting like you can't recruit, because you can. So, okay, my next question.
Hold on, Kristen has to say his.
Okay.
Just because he's the token male, I mean, I know he's a little small in stature.
So my favorite thing about EXP has to be the one brokerage nationwide. Everything else is independently owned, right? Literally every other brokerage, each office is independently owned, but EXP is one brokerage. provide. So the 10-7 project literally could not exist in any other model. So with EXP, when we were looking at doing this 10-7 project, the Tactical Agent Academy, and all the things that we were putting together, it was, we have this opportunity, but how are first responders, cops, dispatchers, corrections officers, military veterans, how are they going to be able to pay for the service that we're going to provide? Because those of you that are agents know that coaching is expensive. You know, I was paying $3,000 a month for my coaching. And for a cop, that is completely unattainable. And then I was able to look at EXP's model and say, I can be compensated very well without charging them a dime.
That's right.
Without charging them a dime. And that's how I was able to build the 10-7 project. And it couldn't exist outside of EXP. So that's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, so my next question is, what type of agent does EXP attract?
One with a license.
That's branding.
Collaborators.
Yeah.
Collaborators, people that are truly wanting to grow. I think the biggest thing when I was wanting to move over was always pushing outside of my comfort zone and being around players and people that were thinking so much bigger than I was. And that was the only reason why I kept moving from the brokerages that I was at. I started at a mom and pop here locally. I'm not talking about Chuck and Angela's because it was mom and pop, but you guys it was a big brokerage. You're the largest single office brokerage in the entire nation. So to me, moving from my mom and pop to this was a big deal. And then from there, I was like, hold up, I'm getting comfortable here. I think that we can do more, right? And being around these inspiring people, I was like, wow, so many doors can open here. And that's what EXP did for me. Blew my mind.
I think that EXP attracts people that get big picture items. Like for instance, like I don't really understand the whole Bitcoin thing, but do I own it? Yes, I do. Like, did I come over to EXP? Yes, I did. And it's just now am I starting to understand exactly what it is, and it's going to continue growing from there. So I think it's more people that I don't know, like want into something bigger, even if they don't understand the full picture.
I think, echoing what they all said, it's a lot of people who think big, but I think a lot of people get missed, like Chuck said in the beginning, was a lot of people think EXP is not for new agents, and I think that is a complete lie. And the reason is, like I said in the beginning, if I had this when I was 18, I literally would not be sitting here right now. That is not a joke. I would be retired by now. Because the training that you get, the revenue that you get, the stocks that you get, it would be so insane for a new agent to not do it. And one of the reasons I think I really love it for new agents, people that are even on a team or anything like that want to get going, it is the only model that pushes you to take a gamble on yourself. No other brokerage will incentivize you through stock options to sell more houses, which means if I take a gamble on myself and I push myself and I can get this return, why would I not try that? Even if I failed, at least I tried. At least I went and chased after that. Every other broker just says, sell more because they make up more off each transaction that you do. They don't incentivize you for anything. And so for me, I love it for new agents who go, you know what, like Shannon on my team goes, I could be at a half cap, but you know what? I want to try to icon and get my stock money. I'm going to take a gamble on myself. It pushes new agents to not be complacent as a new agent and go, well, I'm just new. It goes, no, if I can close this many transactions, I get this in stock, I'm doing that. And so that's actually one of the reasons I love it for new agents.
Speaking of Shannon, how many does she have in escrow right now?
6?
7.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I just started a team like 45 days ago, and she's one of my agents, and that's somebody she has in escrow now. So I don't even know. Great job, Shannon. Just keep killing it.
Well, for me, I hate to keep bringing everything back to tactical. I've been saying that a lot, but the premise of the book, The Tactical Agent, is being tactical over traditional. And I think EXP attracts the more tactically minded people, because, you know, it's not necessarily about guns and war. And, you know, being tactical is thinking about the future, thinking about more than what's in front of you. And I think EXP attracts those kind of agents because they can see the potential in the future, not just what's sitting right in front of them. And I think that's who comes to EXP.
Yeah, so I have a question, kind of piggybacking off of this, and you all don't have to answer, but I'm gonna give you the answer to it my way, and then you guys can piggyback. So one of the things that we hear from a lot of agents, and this is something we've been hearing for many years, always agents will say, how much are the fees? What does it cost me to be there? And although that's not a bad question to ask, but here's what I'm going to tell you as a business person. Number one is we live in the United States, which gives every person the opportunity to be successful. There's nobody in this country that can't go out and be hugely successful. You can't say that in every other country. But with that said, here's something I'm going to tell you from a business standpoint. And you guys hear this over probably the last decade. The fact that the wealthy are getting wealthier and the middle class is becoming obsolete, so the gap is further and further. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you hear, not only hear, but actually see happening, the wealthy people? So here, I'm going to give you a secret here. If you go, why aren't I up there? What do I need to do? The first thing I'm going to tell you is shift your mind, because they don't teach you this stuff in school. And what you do is you get caught up on what everybody else in the world is doing. So what you do is you look at fees, you look at what does that cost? What does this cost? So I'm going to tell you from a business, if anybody ever approached me and they said, Chuck, you can buy this system for your brokerage, or you can get this, I never say, what does that cost? You see, because the cost is irrelevant. As a business person, if you want to be successful, you need to ask questions like this. What is my return on investment? You see, because if something cost me $100,000, and I said to you guys, hey guys, here, look, I have something for you, but it's $100,000. Most of you would be like, that's too much money for me. Can't afford that. But let me ask you a question. What if you could make $1 million off of your $100,000 investment? Even if you didn't have the 100,000, you'd go, I'm going to find a way to get that 100,000 to make the million. You see, so now in the real estate world, here's what people say. What are your fees? Because where I'm at, it's a flat fee brokerage. I only pay $299 a transaction. Great, but how much money are you making? What is your opportunity to build and grow? So now my question to the panel is this. If someone was to say to you, and I know, and I'll start with Erin, because Erin came from a flat fee brokerage. So why did you leave somewhere where you were able to save money and move to EXP? Because nobody ever saves their way to wealth.
There was a couple different reasons on that, and honestly, I am not the poster child on this. But I was like, what are the fees? Oh my gosh, I have different fees that I wasn't used to at a flat fee brokerage, right? But honestly, I've been here since August, and I have no idea what the fees are. I couldn't tell you what I pay monthly or what it is per transaction. Couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is that I went from 50 million, we're going to do 100 million in sales this year. I'm going to double what we did last year for that opportunity. But also, like for me as a team leader, immediately when I was approached for EXP, I was thinking of like why do team leaders want to be there? Of course they make more money. Like they're making money off of their people. Well, they should, you guys, they should. They're giving their time, their energy, their resources, wide leads and things like that. They should be making money in some form. But what I didn't realize is like now I'm in a position to be able to put other people under my team members. And what if they make $200 a month or $500 a month off the people that I'm able to put under there? It's a car payment, you guys. It's their health insurance. It's something that they didn't have before, and I'm able to bless other people.
where I didn't have that available before.
Anybody else want to touch that one?
I came from a flat fee brokerage too. I was at 100%, and that was one of my answers to one of these questions. That was what kind of held me back at first. Was, oh my gosh, I don't want to pay that. I was making 100% of my commissions, so I was feeling great. But at the same time, I was like, no, I'm comfortable. That's where I'm at right now, and it's not a place that I want to sit and stay in because, like Chuck said, you don't become a wealthy person by staying in that. You do have to make some investment in your business here. And so I thought, what the hell? Honestly, it was my thought. I said, what do I have to lose? I go over there and I see what EXP is all about. Everybody's talking about it. Let's just see it firsthand and give it a go. And now 2.5 years later, I don't have 6 figures quite yet, but I'm at over $30,000 in stock, and I make a revenue share check every single month, and these are all things that I didn't have before. It's crazy. Not to mention blessing to the 45 agents across the 15 states that we're in.
I think my answer to that is actually two-part, Chuck, because if you know me, I'm very analytical. I can explain to you how EXP is actually probably cheaper than your flat fee brokerage because no one really realizes the stupid fees your broker charges you anyways. I didn't realize until I left Revelation how much Chuck and Angela made off of my E&O insurance. And I'm like, take me to dinner, you know?
So we're still paying for it. We're still paying for it.
It's a high margin there. And so for me, funny story, when I bought a Tesla, and if you know me, I don't spend money like that. But my mom actually kicked my ass, and she told me to run all the numbers. And when I actually ran the numbers, I realized it was cheaper to drive a Tesla than a Camry. And if you'd like me to prove that to you, I can. That's how much analytical I am. But one of the things my mom told me, and this is why it's two-part for me, is she said, part of the benefit of owning a Tesla is you get to drive in the HOV lane. And I said, okay. I live in Central Phoenix, for those of you that stick in the East Valley, right? So I'm like, that's kind of game changer. She said, if there is a cost to driving the HOV lane every month that the state came out with, what would you pay? And I'm like, that's a really good question that I've never thought about. And I think about that with EXP, is not only can I prove to you that it's probably cheaper or about the same cost as your brokerage, but what do I pay to have the relationships with Kristen and Chuck and Angela and Chris and Erin and these collaborators that I get to talk to, with Sean outside who we get to talk about investment ideas, Ramneek does commercial, all these different people. What dollar amount am I willing to put on those connections that push me and drive me to go from doing 30 to 40 a year to 90 a year or whatever it is? What dollar amount are you willing to pay for that? I guarantee you it's less than what the fees are. I mean, you pay $3,000 for a coach. I mean, it's less than that. So for me, it's two-part of what are you willing to pay to be connected to these people that can actually take your business to another level.
Well said. You're pretty smart, Rachel.
I understand what the part maybe not, it glossed over me at first, when you said, what would you pay to use the HOV? Remember, she's talking about, she drives alone, so you can't use it in the HOV lane unless you have
A
a Tesla.
And it saves me 45 minutes a day.
What she said. Yes.
All right, my next question is, why is it so important who you partner with at EXP?
I think I'll take this one first, because I am probably an outlier in this whole thing, in that I went to EXP, I left EXP, and then I came back to EXP. The first time I went to EXP, I was at Revelation, and I went to Chuck, and I was like, hey, you're doing this whole Revelation, or this EXP thing on the side. I'm just gonna go sign up on this guy, and we're gonna be over there. I'm gonna do this thing with cops, and it's gonna be great. And he was like, but it was already done, right? So I'm kind of a trigger puller. I make decisions, and they just happen.
Because you won't like that on the job.
Right.
Trigger puller.
Well,
I thought you were a bad one. But yeah, so I did that, and then I got to EXP, and I was on this island, right? Like I didn't know anybody, I didn't have any connections, I didn't do anything the right way, and I was like, man, I really miss my people at Revelation. So I walked away. It cost me thousands of dollars to change brokerages twice, and now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, there were like 7,000 people at EXP when I was there the first time. But the people you're with and the people that you can call on and the people that you can ask for advice are imperative in the business in general. And when you're in a place like EXP where they keep using the word collaboration, I'm telling you now, you've never seen anything like it in this business, because the mentality of EXP is that a rising tide lifts all ships. And because, if I sell more houses, Chuck makes more money with the stock, right? Or he gets more revenue share. So I can go right now in my phone, I have the number for Dan Beer, who is the leader of the team in San Diego, who's the largest team in the world for real estate. And I can call him right now and say, hey, my listing presentation sucks, what do I have to do? And he would spend 20, 30 minutes telling me. And that is so invaluable and so important to your success in real estate that you can't even really describe it. So it's really, really important to who you align yourself with. So if you are thinking about EXP, make sure you're talking to somebody who is going to be invested in your success and not somebody that's just going to treat you like a number. And I can promise you guys that this table will be invested in your success.
I think my previous answer answers that.
It was so good, you're just going to keep sticking with
But no, really, I think it does really matter, which is why, being with Chuck and Angela and Kristen, even figuring that out on the people above you who can actually help you is very, very key on being invested too, because they're all invested. Everyone makes off of you. And so everyone wants to see you succeed, which means like calling up Dan Beer, he'll give you the time of day. Calling up Chuck, I can call Chuck and Angela at any time, they'll answer their phone. Kristen calls me every morning at 7:45. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
7:39 today, I guess. So it's just very important that you connect yourself with to collaborate. And a lot of those times, we're even at lunch, we're talking about business all the time. How can we do this? How can we create this report or this thing to help the agents? This morning we talked about ideas. So it's very imperative if you want to be successful to be around the people that actually make you think bigger. I have to be pushed out of my comfort zone. Some people have to be reeled back in. And being with the people who have pushed me has really been imperative for me. So
I just wanted Kristen to recruit for me.
So does everyone else in the group.
No, I mean, that was a part of it. Kristen, if you don't know her, is a natural connector as a whole. But then also, I was super fearful of not being able to get back, because it took me 4 years to build a team of 10. So I was super fearful of that.
And remember, she went from 5 to 18 in less than a year.
I agree. I think the biggest thing for me was, again, being around these people that are thinking bigger. And I know that when I'm having, a crappy day or anything like that, I can call Kristen and she's like, yeah, okay. And then she has ideas for me and she pushes me and she's, helping me out there. I can know that I can come and take part in anything that Chuck and Angela are doing. So looking to the people that are above me, even that are in places that I aspire to be, and being able to literally call them and say, hey, I want to join in on that. And they're like, yeah, come.
Can I add to that, Chuck?
I'm not in charge. Angela, could she add to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about even who your upline is, and you're in that whatever. Okay, so who you connect with. I actually think sitting up here next to you guys, we've done some stuff together, real producers. I went and helped with your team. I think it's not only who is your person above you that's pouring into you and helping you. What is your group? Who are your group of people in real life, right? social media for in real life, IRL or whatever, for in real life, because we are a brokerage that's online. AF. We're brokers that online where, you know, Danielle can call me. I don't make any money off of Danielle. Danielle's just in my sphere of people. Lindsay, right? Say, hey, can you sit down? Can Erin call me? Can you come teach my team? Of course, because if her team does better, my stocks do better, right? So
she makes no money off.
Yeah. So for me, I go, it's not just who's above you that can pour into you and push you to be better, but who's your group all around? Find those people around you at EXP in this building or wherever you're at that say, okay, we're together in this. And if you succeed, I succeed at the end of the day, because we are an agent-owned company, which is the only company, which is why we share, why I want Stephanie to succeed, why I want Erin, why I want 10-7 to succeed, because if they succeed, I actually succeed at the same time. And so it's this whole group mentality that I think is really cool on who the group that you work with. It's not just a few people, it's this big group of people that actually help each other.
You know, it's actually cool to piggyback off of the fact that we all pull for each other. The other thing that was mind-blowing when we see that you have to stay connected to it is the amount of referrals that go back and forth in-house. When you think about it, so if I'm at RE/MAX, you know, okay, so I could say, I can give it to another RE/MAX if I'm in Arizona and I got somebody going to Florida. But you know what? They don't have to give it to a RE/MAX agent. They might know a Keller Williams agent or a C21 agent. You see, they don't really care. They're just looking for a decent agent. You see, at EXP Realty, when we're all owners of a company, so think if you owned a company and you were part owners of EXP Realty, would you ever give a lead to a Keller Williams agent? No, it's ludicrous because you don't make money from it. It's not your company. So that people don't realize, the more we grow as a company, closing in on 80,000 agents, our production's going to keep multiplying because of the amount of referrals that go on throughout the United States and, for that matter, the world. Guys, these are things, because me and Angela owned a brokerage that the average agent doesn't really think about. We sit there, we go, that is going to be huge as we keep growing. So that's a really big asset to be part of the EXP Realty. So get involved, get to know the agents all over the country, because you will get referrals. Let's do one more question with us, and then we'll open it up to them and anybody online that wants to ask some specific questions. So,
Do you have one in mind?
No,
Or
you
pick
go.
one? Okay, I'm gonna pick one I get asked all the time. How's the broker support at a virtual company, right? Like, I have to go into the little cartoon world and talk to them. So I want you guys to talk to us about when you need broker support, how is it and how can we interact?
I call.
Yeah.
There's
so
three
basically,
ways
you're
though.
saying you can access them.
You can
Yeah.
access them, yeah. You can call, you can text, you can email, you can go to EXP World. You can go to Workplace. So there's multiple ways to get a hold of them. I never had an issue. If it's after office hours, which has definitely happened, recently happened, it was like Sunday at, I don't know, 5 p.m. And I called the broker hotline and the broker answered. And she was like, oh, hey Stephanie, by the way, I have another question for you. So it was great. Like, we do start to remember who everybody is too. And every state has their own set of brokers, which I think is really nice too, especially if you're growing outside of Arizona or you're thinking about your team lead. And so far, I've had all of the agents have had success with all of their brokers, which is really cool to see.
I think one of the fun things is, like I said, I love the world. So not only like broker support, but like honestly any support. My mom's 65, she's at EXP, and she does not really understand technology. And so I actually went to her house, we went into the world, she had an issue with a check. We walked our little avatars into the accounting office and we took a number virtually. And then 20 seconds later, we're in this like round private room talking to the accountant and the issue is fixed in 35 seconds. Yeah. And my mom at 65 says, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, you know? So access for everything is amazing. I like when you go into the broker room, at least in Arizona, sometimes they start dancing on their avatars, you know? So honestly, I've never had an issue. One of our brokers who's now moved up, Beth, is probably one of my favorite brokers of all time. They answer the phone. It doesn't matter that we're virtual. You can get a hold of them literally probably almost 24/7. So
now your mom calls you up and now she's playing Minecraft, right?
Yeah, she's playing Avatar games now.
I guess I'm gonna stick with the thing here and just be brief. They pretty much covered the broker support thing. It's super easy. So it's a non-issue really. Like it's no different than any other company other than that. You need to talk to a broker, call them phone. Done.
Yeah, the thing is too, guys, I have to tell you, I am amazed. I was very hesitant with the cartoon world for a while. And it's funny because we'll just keep calling it the cartoon world.
But it's the metaverse.
It really is the metaverse. And it's the future. We're just ahead of our time. But every time Angela gives new students a tour, she'll bring them into the world. It will always go live. And every time she walks into the broker office, every time, there's 2 to 3 brokers standing there greeting her. Like, so when people say, could you reach the broker? Not only could you reach the broker, you could reach him faster than if you drove to an office or even picked up a phone and called. You're reaching these brokers quicker, and they're very knowledgeable. So support's incredible.
And someone just chimed in from Ohio and said that their brokers are amazing in Ohio.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So let's open up. Anybody have questions for the panel, specific for one or the other? We'll take questions, and Angela, you're going to monitor the feeds if there's any question.
I already did.
All right, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm a new agent and a new to XP. And I came here today because I wanted to get an idea on how I'm gonna bring other people here. I came from the hotel industry. I was working there for a long time. The pandemic obviously was not good for me. And so this made sense for me to come here. And sometimes I speak to hoteliers that are really upset and I'm like, come be an agent. And I just looking for like an elevator pitch. Like, what do you guys, if someone
Ooh,
gave you like
good.
a sentence or two to say like, why would you come to real estate? Why would you come to EXP when you do it?
I think, you know what, I think Chris should start off with that because he actually does that
Yeah.
different realm with the police officers and first responders. So what is the pitch when you get the people that
The truth is there is no pitch. Like I just tell them, I'm like, listen, your job sucks. Do you want to do something better? my job as a real estate agent is to hang out and drink with friends. That's what I do. And I get paid really, really, really well.
Yeah.
So
well, gosh, everybody's going to be signing up for real estate. They do nothing.
Well, I mean, we do all of the alcohol in front of us.
it is what it is,
That's why
right?
I have 1,100 people in school. Drink beer and have fun.
But that's really what real estate is. Like people get lost in this whole sales thing. Real estate's not about sales; it's about relationships. The sooner you figure that out, the better you are. Because people like to say, like especially in law enforcement, like
3-way call.
they say being a cop is who you are, and I thought that for a long time. That's what they told me from day one of the academy. Being a cop is who you are. You're a cop because you don't know how not to be one. It's a part of your personality. It's a lifestyle. It's your identity, and I believe that wholeheartedly for a very long time. And then I realized that who I am is helping people. Being a cop's not identity. So when I took that mentality and said, I'm going to help people with real estate, I'm going to protect people and keep them from getting screwed in real estate. I'm going to serve them and make sure they're really taken care of. I'm going to do the protect and serve thing. I'm going to do it in real estate. Everything changed for me. Everything. So when you have a pitch, like the pitch is just the truth. You just tell them what it is. I go and I take care of people and I help them, and then I get paid really well for my expertise.
Yeah, I'll answer it too, but it's not the 3-way call. She's got the 3-way call because you're talking about people that are in the hotel industry that you want to say there's an opportunity in real estate. So really the question is if anybody's unhappy in whatever they're doing, basically you'd say to them, maybe you should look at real estate as an option because especially with the Exp Realty, I would never say this with Revelation, and that was my brokerage. I did not believe in part-time agents. And the reason why is because I couldn't help them. Because my training was in person. They had to, they were like, but Chuck, I work during the week. So for my brokerage, although a large and successful brokerage, I wasn't good for part-time agents. So in your case, or anybody else, if you're talking to someone who has a job that doesn't like their job and they're looking for other opportunities, that's basically what you're saying. Go, look, this is what I did. Why don't you look into possibly get your real estate license? And now every state is online, where before it wasn't. Arizona was one of the last that they went online because of the pandemic. But now they can go online, they can take it at their pace, and you can reach out to us because we have an online school that we can help you with. And let them, then you go, why EXP? Because EXP, because they're a cloud-based company, they can take training at their convenience. So if they're still looking to transition out of a job, EXP Realty is the perfect company to do it in because of our technology, cloud-based systems, and the training by some of the top agents in the country. So that's the conversation I would have. Once they get their license and they're really interested in EXP Realty, then you can look at three-way calls if you don't know what to tell them. Anybody else have questions? Yes.
So when I was first joining, Kristen said something to me that really stood out. She said, it's not if people are going to join EXP, it's when. So that really stood out to me, and I want to ask you guys, because I know you guys talk to a lot of agents, what do you guys feel like is the biggest hurdle or the biggest hump that an agent at another company, what do you feel like,
So basically the question was, what hurdle do a lot of agents and other brokerages need to overcome to possibly come to EXP Realty?
Misinformation.
Misinformation? Yeah.
Resistance to change. For me, this was my, ninth brokerage. It's a huge commitment to change all of my signs, my the website, just Instagram, just everything. It was just really breathing that in. But I feel like it was a lot of I don't know if it was misinformation as much as I was listening to people that weren't at the company. I think Chuck put it best of are you gonna go into Chevy and ask about a Ford? And I was listening to people that weren't at EXP, I think, is the best that I can say on that.
I think that a lot of people have struggled with the virtual portion sometimes, and so they are worried about connection and culture, which we talked about today. It's a non-issue, it really is. And if you're joining with the right people, you will feel connected and you will feel like you're a part of everything, just like you were, if not more, at your last brokerage.
Yeah, I could give you an answer because of running a brokerage, what I've always seen in the industry. Number one is nobody wants to be sold. There's not one person in here that feels good if they were sold on something. So we're resistant to believing the other person, saying, sure, you want me to come over because you benefit from me. And they don't believe it's in their best interest. The other one is comfort. People feel like they like to be comfortable, but there really is no such word as comfort. Either you're moving forward or you're moving backward. But here's what I will tell you that's a fact. In real estate, 85% of all real estate agents fail in their first few years. 85%. So statistically speaking, if you spoke to 10 agents, 8 of them are failing in the business. And if you're failing in the business, are you happy or unhappy? You're unhappy. So think about this. This is a logic that we had taught Kristen early on running a brokerage. Most of the people you will speak to are not happy where they're at. But how many people, especially if they're not your good friends, sit there and go, I'm unhappy. No, they'll all say, what do they say, Kristen, every time you ask them? Every time.
I love my brokerage.
I love my brokerage.
I really don't love my brokerage.
And then we could pull up their numbers, their reports, and she goes, they haven't sold a house in a year. Are they happy? No. So here's the key, how you get over the hurdle. You love on people. Look, people don't need to believe what you are saying. I'm going to repeat that. People don't need to believe what you're saying. They need to believe you believe what you're saying. Do you see that subtle difference? So if you're not immersed like these people are in EXP Realty, they love the brokerage because of what they get out of it, what they see. Could they sell it? Absolutely, because they believe in it. You see, there's a lot of people in EXP Realty that never even been in the world, never even seen broker support. So how could you tell someone how good it is? They know you're full of crap because you're not experiencing it. Immerse yourself in the company, and once they believe you believe what you're selling, they will now listen. There's the difference. Any other questions? Do you have any questions online, Ange?
No.
All right, I think before I wrap it up, I'm going to give you a few things to leave with, guys, just to understand, because what I like to do is I like to be at a different level in the industry. I like to understand what's the future of real estate. Where is it going? Why is it important? Why is EXP really different than every other brokerage, and why we took the risk to make the move? I'm going to tell you some stuff that recently just came out, guys, so you could really get a grasp of what's going on in the real estate world. The National NAR, National Association of Realtors, just announced their membership. Well, guys, listen to this. Hit an all-time record last year. 1,600,000 licensed agents. Guys, comprehend this if you don't understand what this means. That is up from last year, that was a record high of 1.4 million, almost 1.5 million. That was at the end of 2020. And that was up from 2019, that was at 1.4 million. So watch what's happening. The amount of real estate agents, licensed agents, are going up. Because if you're in the business, how's the market right now? The market's hot, but how's the inventory? Do you think your competition just went up or went down? It's going up. That means it's harder and harder and harder to find homes. That means if you don't have a competitive edge, you are going to be out of business. Because what we're talking right now with 1,600,000 agents, guys, understand this, that translates to 3.9 homes per agent a year. 3.9 homes. Are you in business or out of business? Out of business. Guys, now look, I'm not a doom and gloom, man. I love numbers. You know why? Because I'll outwork anyone. Because there's a lot of people making a lot of money. But if you don't understand the industry you're in, you're gonna get smoked in the future. Look, you can say you're comfortable, but comfort is not going to help you. Is NAR making more money now ever than they ever have before? Yeah. Oh yeah, who's making money? NAR is. And understand that NAR is one of the largest lobby organizations in the United States. And they're committed to maintaining their status quo of the economic elites, not you guys. I know people hate when I have to say that because they're supposed to be protecting us. I don't believe they are. And yet they're making more money now than they ever did before. Now, who else is making a lot of money in this industry right now? So if agent count is going up and production per agent's going down, who's making money? I'm going to tell you who's making money. Some of the large brokerages. See, guys, so when you sit and hang your license at brokerages that you're paying flat fees on, and their agent count is going up, do you think their income's going up or going down? Up. You see, flat fee brokerages doesn't give a shit how many homes you sell. They don't. They want their flat fee numbers. They offer no support, no training, nothing that's going to make you better in this industry. You will always be in a dog-eat-dog industry. Brokerages have that figured out. Why is EXP different? We're agent-owned. We're an agent-owned brokerage that pulls for each other. Guys, you gotta understand, this is not just about switching brokerages. This is about preserving you as a real estate agent. This industry is going in that direction. We're not losing agents, we're gaining agents. Guys, the market is not going to change for years. Mark my words, inventory will stay low for the next few years and prices of homes will keep rising up. Now, here's the other cool thing. So Inman, usually they have Inman Connect, but they do every year, they call it Inman Disconnect. And what that is, they bring some of the top leaders and they go and they talk about the future of real estate. And I want to tell you what some of the things came out of this, because this is crucial to you guys being in the business. You ready? So here's what they say out of this. So brokerages are going to have to figure out how to meet the desires of agents in what many believe will become a permanent hybrid and a fully remote landscape. Guys, we're already there. Our brokerage is designed to be fully remote, like Chris said. And guys, if you're not in the industry, you really need to wrap your mind around it. Being one brokerage is enormous advantage for us. Plus with the cloud base. Guys, when you're at EXP Realty, understand the advantage you have being aligned with a brokerage that is already fully, that we could work remotely. We could train, we could connect, we give out leads all remotely. They're already telling you this is the future. So these companies that were built with the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, yes, I'm talking about the Remaxes, the Keller Williams, C21s, Coldwell Bankers, Berkshire Hathaway, they're all built on an archaic platform. You can't compete in future on an archaic platform. Can't happen. What they're doing right now is they keep putting Band-Aids. That's what you're watching. When you're watching companies trying to mimic us, when they're going, oh, now we have stock, and now we do residual income. They're doing it on foundations. They're not designed to build for that. The advantage we have at EXP Realty is enormous. Here's the other thing they talked about in this thing, the metaverse. Guys, we could sit and go, what the hell is a metaverse, right? We could say, what is it? Who cares about it today? But I'm going to tell you, if you're as old as I am, and I've watched what happened just in the world we live in, just in my lifetime, if I was to ever say that we would be careful, look, here's a joke that we always say. I used to go to school and we used to have math tests. And the teacher said, do not take out your calculator. Because what do you think? You're always going to carry around a calculator? I was in school when they said that. What do you think I got on my phone? A calculator. Do you see how quick technology changes? So what we think right now in today's age, what we think is going to stick around, guys, don't be misled. Don't be misled. You know who the successful people, the rich people who are going to be? The ones who are ahead of the curve. They're already talking about this thing called the metaverse. It's here. Do you realize EXP is the metaverse? So when they made fun of us years ago, it's because they had no idea what the metaverse was. So whether you believe in it or not, it's coming. It's just like somebody, if they say to me, Chuck, I don't believe in gravity. Great, go on top of the roof and jump. You will soon find out it's real. Do you see, guys? But you know what we do is because we want to be what? Comfortable. So here's the other thing they talked about. Because they say in the metaverse will be $100 billion opportunity for people who get it and get into it. So you want to know it. So brokerages and agents should learn cryptocurrency, should learn NFTs, blockchain, metaverse. If you're sitting there going, Chuck, what the hell is any of that mean? I've heard of it. It's coming. It's here. Because they're already buying homes for millions of dollars with Bitcoin. And you know what they're doing? Looking for agents who understand what that is. Mm-hmm. Who can raise their hand and go, I understand what that is. I'll work with them. Guys, it's the future, and you gotta get ahead of the curve. That's what EXP's doing. I get the privilege of talking to Gary and Glenn Sanford and Jason Gesson and all the upper staff of EXP Realty. They're talking about this, guys. Me and Angela were just in a mastermind in Puerto Rico with the top people of EXP, and the conversation was what? About the metaverse, Bitcoin, crypto, NFTs. You see, so understand, if you're at EXP, you're in the right place. Leadership knows where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not at EXP, I can guarantee the brokerage you're at has no idea about how to get to where we have to go. This is a big deal, guys, and don't put your head in the sand. So I'll even go one better. If you're sitting here and you go, Chuck, I want to learn about crypto and the metaverse and NFTs, reach out to me on the side. We have training systems that will teach you how to do it. Don't bury your head in the sand. It's the future, guys. It's coming. And they're even talking about that anything but a cash offer is going to be a subprime offer. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? How many of you put offers on homes that are getting beat out by cash offers all day long? You can't compete with loans anymore. So this is the future, guys. EXP is the place to be. We're setting ourselves up. We're worldwide. Look, if you don't align yourself with a forward-thinking company that is built on a platform that can grow as big as we want, because we will grow to 500,000 agents worldwide. That's going to be impressive. So we're glad you're in the room. Guys, you can reach out to any of the panel here, anybody online. If you want to be part of EXP and you like anybody up here, reach out to them. Guys, we're changing the playing field. Stop listening to the naysayers. I always say, misery loves company. They say it out of ignorance and fear. Sell them, show them what we have. So we're glad you guys came, and we appreciate this panel. Let's give it up for this.